Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is PsychoGold, this is PsychoGold Videos. Now, I've just watched Goblin Slayer episode 7, and now I'm going to watch Goblin Slayer episode 8. That is today's episode, and unfortunately, given what time it is, I very much doubt that I'm going to be able to get episode 7 and 8 out on YouTube the same day that they've gone out. Fingers crossed, we can get them out for Sunday. If you're watching this on Patreon, there's a chance that it might have gone out Saturday night. It will be very late at night, but if I'm awake, it's gone out Saturday night. So, just a little bit of a plug here. If you want uncut reactions and if you want to get them faster, then feel free to go and check out my Patreon. The link is in the description below. There's lots of content over there that isn't over here, either for copyright reasons or because I simply haven't got around to editing the episodes for certain shows yet. So it's well worth looking at if you guys are interested in that sort of thing, or if you'd like to support the channel. Obviously all of the guys over there are absolutely amazing, and without them I wouldn't be able to put as much time into this as I do. Now, let's get on with Goblin Slayer. So in the last episode, it depressed us. Yeah, that decided to hit us with a massive sword of realism, which led into the overwhelming shock of depression. Basically, saw all of our heroes not having such a good time, and Goblin Slayer, we're not really sure what state he's in, so everybody else has had to deal with this for a week. Me, I'm lucky in that I only now just watched episode 7, and then episode 8 came out, so I get to go straight into it. Now, if it makes you feel a little bit better, I didn't go straight into it. I have had to wait for this for a good 40 minutes because I got stuck talking. So, you know, it's close to the pain of waiting for a week. Right, guys? So, without further ado, I'm going to jump in right now and we're going to check out Goblin Slayer episode 8 and see what happened next. 3, 2, 1, go! Oh, yep, go. Oh, we're starting direct with the opening. Don't want to give anything away. Interesting. Interesting. Oh, okay. This ain't where we left off. This is, somebody else entirely. Baka! Wait a minute! This is Goblin Slayer when he's a kid, isn't it? So... Oh... That's, hitting below the bar. What the hell? That looked like a goblin. Don't tell me that that good goblin that he responded to in the very first episode is because he knows for a fact that there are good goblins. That would explain why he knows so much about them. Okay, I want to know more. That looks like a goblin. A really old, different goblin. But a goblin nonetheless. He's out of his armor. He's out of his armor! He's out of his armor! Oh my lord, look at all those... What the hell? How much have we missed? I'm very confused. Hello? Is that the Sword Maiden, but minus the blindfold? Sharing a bed with me and her? What? Oh! So it's a miracle! Sadly, I cannot be considered pure any... Oh, wait, no, stop laughing. I've just realized what she meant. Damn. Ah, that's why she won't go hunting goblins. Okay. She's saying one thing, but her body language is saying another, which is interesting. You might be surprised how many people do understand. And yet I'm scared of goblins. Welcome to the world of PTSD. Oh, this should be interesting. There we go. There was a moment of happiness followed by... Wait, hang on. That's not what she meant. I was gonna say. Oh, she managed to get an exact replica of her normal outfit made. I was gonna say, of course she was gonna say that. So they really are forming a close-knit team then. Oh, there's the canary. I love the fact that he still wears his armor out to a place like this. He said thank you. What's wrong with him? His armor is definitely in need of repairs, or he just needs to get new armor at this point. Okay. That was a bit creepy. Oh, okay, so he's actually taken off his, Wow, he's actually taken off his armor. Why is he just... I don't understand why he hasn't put his helmet in to be repaired as well. Yeah, I don't think he liked the way he was treating her. I think that was exactly what she thinks it is in that instance. He's done a good job of repairing it. Okay, is this episode gonna be like a semi-pretend date for those two? Because that's what it's feeling like. Oh, okay, that's an interesting... Okay. Ah, I like it. So he's got the idea. Oh, wow, he gave him way more money than needed. Okay, that's a very interesting story. Oh, wow, he's actually, like, opening up properly. Beat the ice cream, beat the ice cream. I told you I was going to do what I wanted. Yep. Wow. Within reason you did, love. You did kind of freeze and cause most of the problems in the last fight. No way! Don't make me tell Guild Girl on you. Ha! The fact that you're out with another girl. Oh, okay, so these two are back again. Well, to be fair, you weren't carrying it for him, you were carrying it because the ridiculously attractive witch made you do it. Is he gonna make a large explosive? Or several explosives to even the odds? Oh. Is that the same place that we saw in the flashbacks? I thought that was somewhere else. I bet it is explosives. Oh, is that a beholder? Okay. That's different than anything we've seen before in the show so far. It is a creature of chaos. No, it's not a beholder. That looks like it's got other eyes in its tentacles. Disintegrate. Or maybe it is a beholder then. Ah, disintegrate and dispel. That's a powerful combination. That is unnerving though, if that was actually there. I mean, it's quite large. Though if that's... I wonder how that got there, or why that's there. If she can move that fast, why don't you just put an arrow in it? Oh, okay. Oh! He can go to... He's putting him to sleep. That'll be interesting. Oh, okay. No pressure. Well, in fairness, normally she's been fine with this, so hopefully it won't be an issue. Knew it. Damn. But that was the beholder, not the goblin, so he's used his entire supply of... Oh. Oh, I was going to say. He's used his entire supply of powder. Or flour, as it turned out. Yes, he would. It would be a nice change for you to pull some weight. Oh, there we go. Back to bickering. My plumpness is what defines a dwarf. Fair enough. That looks magical in nature. Oh, what? That's the end already? That seemed to go way quicker than episode 7, but maybe that's because episode 7 was more hard-hitting. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That was Goblin Slayer episode 8. Very, very different from episode 7. But still a very good episode in its own right. I mean, the opening gave us many, many more questions. Now, I know that people are going to want to clarify me if that creature isn't a goblin, or confirm if it is a goblin. And that's fine, but please refrain from giving me essays of what exactly it is, what the relationship with him is, and every single plot point that involves the two of them, which, whilst I appreciate your guys' enthusiasm and your levels of knowledge, I'm quite happy to let the story unfold in ways that allow me to experience it firsthand. Obviously, I'm used to getting lots of lore dumps from reacting to Overlord, but I have a funny feeling that that's going to be one of those plot points that everybody's going to want to be the one to tell me every single little detail that the anime hasn't yet. So it's fine. I don't need to know all the details. I'm patiently waiting for the anime to reveal it. Even if they don't reveal it this season, I'm sure there's going to be more seasons of Goblin Slayer. I know it hasn't been incredibly popular for like everybody who's watching it, but I think it's popular enough that it's probably going to get a second season. I don't know if one's been announced yet or if they've even started thinking about it, but it seems to me like it's going to get one. Now obviously I could be completely wrong there. I don't think I will be, but anyway. As for this episode itself, the opening after the flashbacks was interesting because it is the first time, to my knowledge, that we've seen Goblin Slayer outside of his armor. Now, we didn't really see his face, but I don't think we ever will. Like, even in the flashbacks, his face was mostly obscured by his hair, which is exactly the same look that we got as an adult. He's just a lot more muscular and covered in a ridiculous amount of scars. We then had the Sword Maiden come in and couldn't make up my mind exactly what was going on with her. She seemed to be dressed very suggestively, and what she was doing with her body and her hands was just as suggestive and very sexual, I want to say. Which is very strange, considering that what she was talking about was basically how she was raped by the goblins, and obviously I kind of knew that was... I didn't know, but I was very confident that that was the case because some people had hinted that there are reasons why she wouldn't fight the goblins herself. And again, if that's, you know, reasons, in my opinion, could only mean one thing. And yeah, like, I really, really dig her storyline. You know, she is the hero that vanquished the Demon Lord, but she can't cope with the idea of facing goblins because of what they did to her. And I just think that is very realistic and very true to life, and it's something that I'm surprised that an anime would tackle, and I think you could almost do more with that. Like, she's clearly got vision problems. I don't know if they're natural, I don't know if they're because she's the head of the Order, or whether she's just literally been losing her sight over years, because she said that she can still kind of make him out, like he's really blurry. So, but yeah, just looking at her eyes was enough to tell that there was something not quite right there, and then she basically confirmed that, yeah, she can't really see. I did, however, like her amusing little comment of what was it like sharing a bed with the two of us, and it was like, wait, what? Yeah, that's a very interesting spell to require for someone who's dead to have to sleep with two people, one of which is casting the spell and one of which is a virgin. And yeah, when she originally said that she can no longer be considered pure, I originally thought that she was just saying, you know, oh, I'm much older than she is, you know, I've long since passed the point of being able to be called pure. And then obviously, as I was having that comical thought, it suddenly clicked that she's in a religious order and there's a reason that she doesn't fight goblins. And then I was like, no, stop laughing, that's not what she means. So yeah, it's kind of a sad story, but it is. I'm happy when the world is more real. I think Goblin Slayer is at its best when it is putting these more mature storylines first. And I know that not everybody is going to appreciate that, and I know that a lot of people will be annoyed that it went in that direction. But at the same time, the fact that this world is more real, even though it's a fantasy universe, is kind of why everybody was talking about it in the first place, and why so many people were looking forward to it. Because as I've said many times, I knew what was going to happen in the first episode of Goblin Slayer, and it seemed a lot of the people who were going to react to it didn't. Because I didn't realize that it was going to be turned into an anime, when people were talking about the manga on my Discord, I was happy to listen about it and people to talk about it, and I thought, well, this sounds like it could be a great anime. And then it was announced that they were going to turn it into an anime, and people had already like shared posts from the manga, and we were talking in great detail about the first chapter, which obviously is the first episode, so I knew that that rape scene was coming, which is why I wasn't very shocked or surprised by it, which is a shame, because I do think that the people who didn't know it was happening, like, their reactions were really worth watching, in my opinion. And it would have been interesting to see what my reaction to that would have been had I not known it was coming, because I know that my reaction might not have been what most people thought it was going to be. But again, it's really difficult to connect with animated characters that you've not known for more than 2 minutes. Since they are animations, they're not real people, they're not actresses that can really pull on your heartstrings, and it is an anime. You need to have a much bigger connection, at least for me, than what we already had when that scene happened. Obviously, I don't even really remember that scene. I just remember the epic metal music and Goblin Slayer wiping the floor with all the goblins after that scene, which I think is exactly what they wanted everybody to do, which is they had this massively violent sequence, and then Goblin Slayer comes along and is just as violent to the goblins, and as an audience, they wanted you to be in such a negative headspace that you wanted that from Goblin Slayer. And I think that's why it got such a big reaction, both negative and positive, when the first episode aired. It's kind of lost that as it's gone on, but I think the last couple of episodes have kind of brought it back to that level of not realism, but the grittiness and the dark factor that I like. And this one, after that, going around with the fake date, you might think that, oh, well, you obviously didn't enjoy the rest of this episode, but I actually really did. I love the fact that he's so clueless, that she likes him and that other people like him. And I mean, Sword Maiden, again, really confused as to what exactly she was doing. Like, she was cuddling him, she was touching herself, kind of, but not. And she was, like, being very suggestive with what exactly it was that she wanted from him. But at the same time, I think she'd pretty much worked out that he's not really interested in anyone. He just wants to kill goblins. And then we saw those two just having a regular day, and then we got back to the matter at hand, but we didn't really, because we didn't actually see what happened with the goblins. We got this weird beholder who's guarding this weird mirror that maybe is like a mystical portal, perhaps? I'm not sure. But either way, it looks like it's setting up an interesting plot thread for next week's episode. The thing I'm really curious about is, like I said, is that flashback character. If that is a goblin, then that just changes his... That just makes things more interesting, because he is so fervently against the idea of allowing goblins to live, yet he may have in fact been trained by some kind of goblin. a very different Goblin, because he's red and not green. But the interesting thing about that is, isn't the two moons red and green that we've seen up in the sky? Because he said that he heard that goblins come from the green moon. So could the creature that trained him come from the red moon? In which case, does that make him a goblin, or is he something else entirely? Who knows? But I really do think that if that creature is some kind of goblin, or is something that is very knowledgeable about goblins, maybe it's an ancient enemy of the goblins, I have no idea. But the point I'm trying to make is it would explain why he alone seems to have so much more knowledge and information about goblins. Yes, obviously they did give the little information explanation about the fact that he talks to everybody and asks them about, you know, everything that they do, like with the ice cream. But I still think that he knows way more about goblins than anybody else, and it would make sense to get it straight from a goblin or something very similar to a goblin, because obviously they're going to know a lot about their own race. As I say, overall this was a great episode. I enjoyed the fights, I enjoyed the camaraderie. I'm really surprised and happy that he opened up to a degree with Priestess when they were both sat on the bench, and he told her that he is scared still all of the time, and that he's not this massive, you know, monster, cold, emotionless slayer. He is still just a regular person underneath all that armor, and he's scared all of the time. He just doesn't let fear control him. And I think that was a lovely little moment, and I think it really shows that he has become attached to his party, and he's you know, he's much closer to them, and he is trying. And again, going back to what I said many episodes ago, I know everybody keeps disagreeing with me, but I don't class him as mad. Maybe he's worse in the manga, maybe he's worse in the light novels, I don't know. But from what I've seen in the anime, I think his head is on straight. I don't really see any hints of real issues other than, you know, maybe some PTSD. But yeah, that's just my opinion. Doesn't mean I'm right, doesn't mean I'm wrong. With what I've seen so far, obviously, you can prove me right or wrong by telling me stuff that I haven't seen yet, but I can't help that. Please don't. I also thought it was amusing the way that the priestess was like, you really are hopeless, and like she doesn't think that he's figured out that she likes him. I actually can believe that, because I don't think he is very socially adept, but there is also a part of me that thinks he might actually very well know, and he's very much aware that, you know, Cowgirl likes him and all of this stuff, but he doesn't want to acknowledge it or encourage it, because deep down he doesn't want any of that. His whole life revolves around killing goblins, and that's all he's gonna do. Doesn't have time for anything else. Anyway guys, speaking of not having any time, that's probably gonna do it for this particular episode. As I say, it's definitely too late for this to get out on YouTube at... Well, actually, I'd be surprised if I can get them out on anything Saturday night. It's nearly... There's only an hour left of Saturday, let's put it that way. So I'm going to leave you guys now. Thank you very much for sticking with me to the end. As always, if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to drop it a thumbs up and leave some comments down below, letting me know what you thought of this episode, what you thought of my thoughts on this episode, and if you're looking forward to next week's episode. If you're new around here, don't forget to click that subscribe button, as I have plenty of anime to post at the moment, some current, some not so current, and as I said, there will be new series coming to YouTube in the form of Planet With and Gakugarashi / School Live, depending on what you call it. I will try and finish off Mob Psycho before they start airing. So if you're that guy that keeps asking me about when the Planet With reactions are coming, they're coming soon, but I'm determined to get all of the Mob Psycho episodes finished before Planet With starts. But I also am, fingers crossed, hoping to just do them one after the other. Like, I'm not going to be dragging them out for 3-4 weeks, however many episodes are left. I'll do them daily, one after the other, once I start editing them. So be on the lookout for them, and if you're excited about any of the new shows that are coming to the channel, and you're already not subscribed, click subscribe, my friends. I know quite a few of you who are regulars here, but aren't subscribed because you've told me as much, and some of you have now started subscribing, so thank you very much. But that's going to be it for today, guys. As always, my name is Psycho Gold, and I will see you in my next video. Psycho Gold, out.